Today we're going to learn how you can distinguish between a discrete or a continuous function. Discrete functions can only contain certain values. Okay, sometimes when you're looking at a discrete function, some numbers might be skipped, and when we talk about a discrete function, they're usually things that can be counted. Now that's not 100% as a rule, but it's a good guideline to use. So some examples of discrete functions are like the number of pages in a book. So you could count the number of pages in a book. Or a discrete function might include shoe size, where you're only talking about certain values, like the whole and half sizes of shoes. Or finally, like the number of people running a race. Again, that's something that could be counted. And when you look at a graph, the thing you want to know about a graph is in a graph, when you have a discrete function, you have a series of points that are not connected. And they're not connected because only certain values exist. So in this case, if we're looking at our tickets, you got to think about the fact that you can only have whole numbers of tickets. You could buy 1 ticket or 2 tickets, but you can't buy like 1.5 tickets. So there are certain values that exist and certain values that don't exist. Now in a continuous function, that's a little bit different. Continuous function can be any real number. Okay? Continuous functions could include any decimal or fraction. And again, another guideline, not 100%, but a guideline is continuous functions are typically things that could be measured. So some examples here of continuous functions would be a person's height. Okay? A person could be 6 feet tall, or 6 feet 1 inch, or 6 feet 1.5 inches, or any fraction or decimal of height. We could have temperature, again, something that could be measured. It could be whole degrees, it could be half degrees, or time, the time it takes for a person to run a race. So we're not counting the time, but we're measuring the time. And the big difference between a continuous function and the way you look at the graph is that the continuous function will have your points that are connected with a line. So for example, in this situation where we're talking about the age of a person, this age of a person could be whole years. It could be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, but it's also every single value of time in between those ages. It could be a year and a half, it could be a year and a month, it could be a year and 2 days, it could be every value. So in a continuous graph, the points would be connected.